guess you all know that Moldova is of utmost importance for Romania. And this is not only because they are our neighbors, but also because of historic links, cultural links, linguistic links, and of course our common desire to build strong democratic systems. Romania has been a fair, reliable partner for Moldova during all these years. We managed together, Romania and Moldova, to build programs destined to strengthen the rule of law, to reform the judicial systems, the political systems became stronger. As is natural, this process has its ups and downs. But Romania is determined to continue to be a strong, reliable partner for Moldova. During the last month in Romania, we analyzed our relations with Moldova, also in the light of the latest elections they had in the Republic of Moldova, and decided to become an even closer ally for Moldova. So we decided to extend our aid programs. We decided to continue, for instance, an important financial aid for the Republic of Moldova. We are going to continue to help local communities, for instance, to rebuild, to modernize schools, hospitals, local transportation, and to continue to be involved in a very constructive way in the promotion of the so necessary reforms in Moldova. This is what we are going to do, and no matter who is going to be elected in which position, we are going to stay partner with Moldova. In our opinion, the one sustainable path for Moldova is the European path. On the other hand, we know very well that Moldova has very specific problems, one of which you mentioned, it's the Transnistrian problem. Romania's opinion is that this problem can only be solved through diplomacy. No other solution is thinkable or viable. And if we talk about this, you know there's a 5+2 format, they are negotiating. The negotiations got stuck a couple of years ago. And the German presidency of the OSCE managed to move things towards a new phase of dialogue, which I personally appreciate very much and think that this is a very good sign in this complicated situation. So if you're a friend of Moldova, be sure that we are a friend of Moldova, and together we can solve problems.
From Lithuania.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President, we know what you became the president expressing the very strong will to fight corruption. And today we have the new results from Transparency International, which shows the score for Romania 48 in the scale from 0 to 100. So the improvement was quite modest. So what is your comment on that? Is the possible mission really to fight corruption? And what can you suggest to the other countries of Council of Europe?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for your question. You touch one of my favorite themes, fighting corruption. Fighting corruption in Romania is not an easy task. Very complicated. But I believe in Romania. I believe in the capacity of Romanians to build a solid, mature democracy. And I believe that corruption in Romania can be eradicated. But from this belief to the fact, there's a long way to go. We are determined to go this way, and we are currently fighting corruption with good results. If somebody imagines that corruption, which is an endemic problem in Romania, hopefully not in your countries, I hope everybody's fine, but we are fighting corruption. Anybody thought that this can be eradicated in 1 or 2 or 10 years, I can tell you it's wrong. Corruption fighting is a long, painful, and ugly process. Brings up ugliest facets in a society, a democratic society. And the fact that we are successfully in fighting corruption leads, for instance, to daily breaking news. Ex-politician has been charged for corruption. This public employee has been charged because he mismanaged public money, and so on and so forth. This is extremely stressful for the society. It's extremely stressful for the politicians, and the results come, but slow. This is why I think that corruption cannot be fought on a short term. Corruption can be fought and probably eradicated if you believe in this fight, if you keep the fight going till we win. If not, the other guys will win, and that's not something I can imagine for Romania. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker on behalf of the Socialist Group, Stefan Schenak from Austria.
Dear Mr. President, the pictures we got and information we got from your country the last weeks and months made us worried that the illness of Macedonia arrived from Romania. Taping, videos, documents, and illegal distributing by intelligence service and others. That makes not a good picture, and the pressure on justice. Are you behind the parliamentarian investigation of that, and that there will be taken personal and legal decisions?
We all know that media is part of our political life. But we well know that media reports are not designed as proof for any guilt or, on the contrary, any lack of guilt. So, no matter how interesting and important media reports are for us politicians, we should not mistake media reports for hard proof. I, as president, support any committee, any procedure, and every institution to find if anybody has proceeded illegally. I believe in the legal path. And if somebody made a mistake, he will pay for it. But if not, his image should stay hidden. So, to give a short answer, of course, I support any on every procedure which will lead to uncovering illegalities.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, on behalf of the European Conservative, Mr. David Daly from the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you all know, Dan Adamescu, who was the owner of a newspaper that was critical of your government, died in prison this week. There have been suggestions that he was denied a fair trial, access to medical treatment, and access to parole. When his son took action against one of your predecessors, he was served with a European extradition warrant. He's a playwright who lives in London. I accept what you say, sir, about the importance of fighting corruption, but it's important that this is not used as a means to silence people. Will the Romanian government uphold the right to fair trials, to fair treatment for prisoners who are convicted of any offence, and to freedom of the press?
I'm not acquainted, I was not acquainted to the person you mentioned, so I'm not going to comment on that. But, yes, I personally, as President of Romania, I stand for fair trials, for fair media approaches, and as I answered to your colleague, yes, I'm ready to support all necessary legal procedures to establish the truth.
Thank you. Next speaker, on behalf of the ALDE groups, the President, Sir Jordi Xuclà from Spain.
Thank you, President. President, let me to congratulate for this initiative from Romania and Spain common initiative to implement the International Court against the terrorists. And let me to ask you, what do you consider is the main initiative, the key initiative, in order to avoid the populism? And why do you consider that the populism is increasing around Europe and around the world? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How much time do I still have? Talking about populism. Well, this is a very broad theme. I'm a member of the European Council, and on different occasions, obviously, we discussed there about the future of the Union, about the way our constituents vote during the last years, about the fact that whoever called for a referendum lost, and about the fact that populism becomes popular again. So, usually politicians have opinions on every subject. So, everybody has an explanation for the populism we face now, for the Europhobia, xenophobia, and I think that we have to be honest. Usually, we blame the media, the migrants, the others. But I think we also should use a mirror if we want to explain why populism becomes popular again. I think we have a problem in Europe, maybe elsewhere too. Too often we avoid with clear answers to clear questions, often we tell people one thing during the political campaign and do something else during our mandate. Too often we think that our constituents would not understand what we plan, so we do not explain what we want to do. And so, I personally came to the conclusion, which I shared with my colleagues, starting from the discussions in the European Council, that the European Union has all kinds of problems, economic, with migrants, with the eastern border, with the southern border, with the banks. But if we go down to the roots, I think we have a credibility problem. We politicians are not so credible anymore. The institutions we built are not so credible anymore. So if we want to make things better, if we want to beat the populists, we should not become populists ourselves, but we should go back and reconnect to the people. Tell them what's going on, where the problem is, and what we intend to do for them. And then, I think, we will have to speak less often about populism, rising populism, extremism, Europhobia, and xenophobia.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker, Monsieur Bernard Fournier de la France, du groupe PPE.
Monsieur le Président, des événements récents en lien avec un service étatique important semblent avoir fourni des arguments aux détracteurs de la lutte anticorruption en Roumanie. La Roumanie a pourtant beaucoup agi pour contrer la corruption dans le passé. S'agit-il là d'une défaillance individuelle ou d'un problème plus vaste? Des projets législatifs sont-ils à l'étude sur le sujet? Quelle est par ailleurs la teneur du dernier rapport de la Commission européenne sur la levée ou non du mécanisme de coopération et de vérification sur l'évolution du système judiciaire roumain, et quelle appréciation portez-vous sur ces conclusions, Monsieur le Président?
Very good subject. Thank you. I'm glad to tell you that the latest report on the CVM has been issued 2 hours ago. It's very positive. Surprise, surprise. But that's it. That's Romania. Always good for a surprise. Sometimes even positive ones. The latest report on CVM states that consistent progress has been made in all areas. Of course, and we know best, a lot of things still have to be improved. A lot of things still have to be done. More precisely, the latest report shows 12 areas where we have to work harder to ensure progress. And for the first time, this new report states that it is not advisable to link the CVM reported results to other issues like Schengen or European funding. I repeat, it is not advisable, this is what the Commission says, to link the CVM reports, other issues like Schengen and European funding. So, we are going to continue our work. And same report states that given Romania fulfills the 12 requests, the CVM is going to be finished, it's going to be terminated, closed, phase out is what President Juncker and I called it on the meeting we discussed this subject. On other themes, be assured that Romania has the systems of checks and balances in place. It's a myth that secret services provide strange proof in penal dossiers. This is not possible, I assure you, and I know the President of Romania. But if there are charges, whoever has a complaint should go for the competent entity and it will be clarified. And right now, as I speak, the head of one secret services is in the parliament to clarify such aspects, which undoubtedly he will do. So, talking about facts and European reports is one thing. Explaining myth is usually difficult, so I stick to the facts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Mr. Jordi Villavats, ALDE Group from Spain.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Tanto partidos políticos como diferentes organismos transmiten la preocupación de los habitantes húngaros de Rumanía que ven muchas veces amenazada su identidad. Entienden que no hay avances reales en la precaria situación identitaria de la minoría húngara y en su alocución hoy también se ha comprometido con las minorías. Está dispuesto a abrir un proceso de diálogo tanto con los partidos políticos como con los organismos de sensibilidad húngara, como por ejemplo el Consejo Nacional Sekelan, en aras de promover la identidad de la minoría húngara y posibilitar además el llegar a acuerdo con todos ellos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for your question. This is very important. It's important for Romania, it's important for the Council of Europe, and this is why I extensively mentioned this item during the speech I just delivered. It's also important for me as a private person. As you may know, I myself am a member of an ethnic minority. Just imagine, a member of a small ethnic minority, President of Romania. This is probably an indication about the openness of the Romanians. We have in Romania a large number of ethnic minorities. I spoke in my address about one of them, the Roma minority. Another large ethnic minority is the Hungarian minority. But we also have Ukrainians, we have Jews, we have Germans, we have Italians, and so on. We don't have Spanish so far, but who knows? And Romania established right from the start a very interesting model because politicians at that time and to this day understood that ethnic minorities are not a problem. They are an opportunity, chance to make our society better, to profit from the diversity, and to give this an institutional support right from the start. We accepted and introduced the principle of positive political discrimination for the organizations of the ethnic minorities. So, in the Romanian parliament, we have 18 members representing 18 rather small ethnic minorities, and we have the larger Hungarian minority represented by parliamentaries which are elected on the regular path because they usually have a large number of votes. So, we do not only listen to them, they are actively involved in the Romanian political system. Hungarians have a parliamentary representation, as many others. They have schools, in university departments in their language, and I can assure you there is no problem called the Hungarian problem. We have the Hungarians with us. They are part, active part, well-integrated part of the Romanian society. And this is how it's going to stay. And institutionally, of course, I as a president have a constant and may say very good contact with the leaders of the Hungarian community.
For the President of Hungarian delegation, Mr. Sol Nemes, the evening.
Mr. President, the restitution process of the property of churches in Romania has been regressive instead of advancing. The cases of the Székely College in Szepsiszentgyörgy and the Unirea Theological Gymnasium in Dirgumurat are among the most notable ones. A few years ago, these properties were restituted, and now, today, they are being renationalized by the state. Is it really conceivable that after 10 or even more years after restitution, church property is going to be nationalized again?
Thank you. Mr. President.
Well, this is a very particular, very concrete question, but as it comes, I'm a teacher, so I'm interested in this issue, and I know pretty well what's going on there. So, let me clarify a couple of aspects. A building has been restituted to the church community, and it's well restituted. It's absolutely not under question, and it's not the case to talk about renationalizing because nobody intends this. So it's restituted, and that's it. On the other hand, because of an administrative rush, the school has administrative problems regarding the way it's organized, regarding the way how it's managed. This also because our Minister of Education did not intervene in due time. But all this is under a procedure to clarify it, and I hope very much, as President, I'm not involved, as you know, in government procedures. I hope very much that they will clarify this as soon as possible and keep going on. But as the centerpiece of your question was about restitution, let me assure you that if a building has been restituted and it's rightfully a building that belongs to the community, it will stay there. Nobody, I repeat, nobody in Romania intends to have renationalizing procedures in place. Thank you.
Well, we must now conclude the questions to President Iohannis. President, thank you very much for the important address and our exchange of views. You have highlighted the benefits that the Council of Europe expertise has brought to democratic transformations in Romania. Indeed, I organization of this assembly has been and continues to be the reaction innate for democracy, human rights and rule of law in Europe. I would like to thank you for your commitment to our organization and your words of support for a new summit of heads of state and government of the Council of Europe, which should provide political impetus for our action in the years to come. Allow me also to highlight the contribution to our Holocaust remembrance ceremony yesterday, in your capacity as chairman of the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. The exhibition that we are hosting in the house is an important reminder of our duty of memory and our attachment to the ideals of the Council of Europe. Finally, let me welcome the idea of a conference on the role of majority and opposition in democracy. This is a very important issue in today's society, and I thank you for your invitation. This assembly has produced a lot of reports on this issue. I'm sure that we can make a valuable contribution to this event. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and we wish you all the best.